Hi, comic book fans, and welcome to another suddenlycomics.com video. It's a Monday night. I'm somewhere in Italy, and we have going to talk about self-published comics. So these are sort of individuals who've got enough passion that they go out and produce their own comic and self-publish it. We did three over on Allan's channel. There's some crackers over there. Head over there after you've watched this. And we're going to do another three here. Allan, what's your first?
Well, my first is a Canadian artist
Huh?
and creator, and he's actually quite famous. He's quite famous, but he did self-publish, and he actually self-published I think it's actually the longest self-published book, and it's Cerebus.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so Cerebus, this is I don't know, Cerebus 161. You know, he's been. I didn't realize how old Cerebus was. It's actually from the 70s.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's a Bronze Age comic. I thought it was like copper or later, but it's a Bronze Age comic. This is not a Bronze Age comic, but I think he even still publishes now, but he does more of these one shot kind of
Yeah.
books.
Yeah. He does parodies.
Yeah, he does a lot of parodies. He did a lot of stuff making fun of COVID, which was kind of cool. I was like, thinking that was pretty awesome. And Cerebus is aardvark that just does his heroic stuff, and just a very tongue-in-cheek kind of character. Yeah. So this is my.
I actually collected Cerebus.
Oh,
And
really?
my pull list for years.
Oh,
So
really?
I started quite early. So I haven't got issue one, unfortunately, but I think I've got most of the rest.
Mhm.
And I quite liked it when it started off, but somewhere around issue 120, it goes with it. So he stops doing it. It's sort of good fun. Sort of initially, it's a piss take,
Mhm.
and then it gets slightly more, and then eventually it just becomes. There's virtually no art in it, and it just becomes some political treatise by Dave Sim about
Okay.
really weird, slightly odd stuff. Um,
Well, that's like his modern stuff then.
Yeah, and some of the later stuff, it really is indigestible. Um,
Wow.
so yeah, I think I did stop actually before. I think I stopped around 230, so I haven't got the last 70 or so because they were just.
Yeah, I heard he didn't quite make it to 300 in terms of the
No,
like
no,
the
he did make it to 300. That was
did
what.
he make it to 300?
Yeah,
Okay.
that was his stated aim when he first started. He said, "I'm going to do 300 issues," which is a hell of a claim for a self-published comic. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
no, he did, and for a long time he was the longest running independent. But
Now it's Savage Dragon or something like that.
now it's Spawn, yeah.
Oh, Spawn. Oh, wow.
But
Okay. I
you're
thought
right. That's the longest running self-published, but
mhm.
the longest running independent is now Spawn because Spawn's on
Okay.
Spawn's
Okay, sure.
300 and something or other.
But I wouldn't know how I wouldn't really claim that Spawn is independent anymore. It's like such a big company. It's
Well,
massive
yeah, okay, but it was, the independent was anything that wasn't DC or Marvel, wasn't it?
at the time. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. That's cool. So I learned a bit more there. What's your second book?
Right, okay. I
First book.
have to do a little bit of censoring. So
Okay.
this is another one that this came from Thought Bubble last year. This again is self-published. This is
Hmm.
called Samantha, and I'm going to leave it to your imagination. What
Wow.
Let me read you the synopsis. Samantha the sex doll gains super intelligence and takes over the world with her army of sex bots. The only ones capable of saving society are United Nations interpreter Peter and soldier Avi, but they also have to fix their relationship issues along the way. So,
Nice. Nice.
I mean,
So
and
is that based on a true story or
oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So again, well, uh, so we've
all
got
right.
a sex bot saving the world. So And I think I got lots of free things with it, lots of stickers and things like that. I can't show much of the inside just because most of them have people and robots with no clothes on. One of the nice page at the back where all the people who sponsored this get their photo, get a drawing of them at the back.
Oh wow, that's really nice.
Yeah, yeah,
You're gonna self-publish, do something like that. That's awesome.
yeah. And here's some stickers. The Naked Truth, Doomed to Fail. So yeah, it's always good fun.
Hmm.
Boomer the sex doll,
Okay.
and the end is coming. Yeah,
Oh
right.
wow.
So that was a good fun one I picked up at Thought Bubble last year.
So in the previous video, I talked about how I was buying stuff in the dollar bin, and sometimes even the dollar bin was not cheap enough. So I picked up this book. It was originally priced at 225. You
Yeah.
see that? But
Okay.
I paid a whopping 50 cents for this book.
Alan, you big spender, you.
Yeah, this is, and I thought it was just such a cute name. Corbin the Barbarian. So it's issue number 2. I don't know anything about this comic. I never read the comic. I just stuffed it away, hoping that it would become another $1 million comic for myself. But it has all the trademarks of that self-publishing. It looks like they're kind of doing a parody or Conan the Barbarian,
Yeah.
plus almost like Cerebus. It almost reminds me of
Yeah,
Cerebus
it
a
has
little
got a
bit.
bit of Cerebus feel about it. No, the sort of
Yeah,
the way the panels are done look like
yeah, yeah. So yeah, I thought it was kind of interesting. I don't know if it went anywhere. I don't know if anything about this comic. It's from Me Comics, like so, that's not a good sign. But yeah, this is just one of those self-published ones that I got from the dollar bin, but the reduced dollar bin to 50 cents. So really awesome. And
never.
it's still in the original bag. So
Yeah,
this bag is a collector's item on its own. So
yeah.
because it's at least 20 years old. Well, 30 years old. Oh my goodness. This is like a very valuable bag. So so that's my second one.
Right. Okay, my next one again, another self-published one picked up at Hex Bubble. This is really nice. I think
Mhm.
the artwork in this. This is called Hexa Eldritch.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Reading the thing on the back, hidden away in the forgotten corners of our world, there is another world. It is an arcane, primeval, half-remembered realm. Occasionally, people stray, trespass, or are lured into this world. It is the task of Hexa Eldritch, that's this woman here, to rescue and guide these lost souls home. However, there are creatures who covet lost people who will not easily be parted from their new playthings. So yeah, really nice, sort of dark, sort of story, and with some really interesting artwork. And I got a little, free prints with it.
Poster thing. Yeah.
And yeah, it really is sort of very
Oh, it's well done.
yeah, it's well done. Yeah, really well done. Uh,
Hmm.
the artwork is really quite, and the story is very memorable and readable. So yeah,
Hmm.
I doubt I don't know whether that is available in the USA or not.
Yeah, a lot of these they when they self-publish, they don't go much further than where they self-publish.
Exactly. But this is a memorable and different story, and and the artwork is different.
Yeah, it's very nice actually. I like it.
Yeah. So there we go. Hexa Eldritch.
And
Um,
is that issue number 1, or did
yeah,
they get?
that's issue number 1, and this is book 1, created by Neil Webber.
Okay, very interesting.
Do recommend it. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, if you can find it. I mean, it sounds it's probably super rare.
Yeah. Well, it's self-published and print on demand. They can do 100, run 100. That's
Yeah, I always thought, like, here's a quick question, just a quick question, a little bit of an aside. What do you think about that print on demand element in terms of first print, second print, and that kind of.
Well, I did show you the stuff from Scott Harris King in when I was speaking, and I talked to him about this. And his first print run on his first comic was 100 issues, and and it did sell out. And he's done a second, and he's done it again, but he's called it a second print, and it does say on it second printing.
So even though it's print on demand, it's still somehow a second print. Okay.
Yeah, because he's a comics guy, so he wants to hold true to all he's used.
Okay, so that's good. That I can see. I just always wondered about that whole idea of the print on demand, and then
the other thing they've got to be careful of with these people who do Kickstarter is that they give rewards to the people who fund them. Based on we're going to do this print run. There's only going to be 25 of these, and you're going to get a copy. So you've got to be a bit careful, if they do print it again. Some of them they can't print again because basically their backers have backed them on the basis I'm getting one of 25. Yeah. So Scott is quite careful about that. So he only ever reprints the cover A,
the main cover A,
one, and he calls it second print or third print or fourth print whatsoever. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. I was always curious about that. So
that's what that's what Scott does. I'm not I've no idea. That person may just print another 100 and call it first print.
Yeah. Okay, so my last book that I'm going to show is one that you and everybody loves, Zombie Tramp.
Oh, of course.
This was a self-published book, and by Dan Mendoza, and this is the very first Zombie Tramp. Actually, super rare. There's like less than 10 on the census, and it's quite valuable book. Even in mid-grade, it's like over $1,000, maybe $1,500 for a mid-grade copy, and it's just incredibly hard to find. But the story is very simple. It's she's a tramp, and she goes to this guy where he goes to this house where this guy is basically bringing in prostitutes to feed to his son, who's a zombie.
Nice,
typical story. And she she becomes a zombie, but she still maintains her own intellect and sense of. Yeah, she's still a tramp. Yeah, so she's zombie tramp, and she actually gets some powers. She gets this weird spirit that kind of enters her. And so what happens is you can shoot her arm off, for example, but if she eats somebody, she regains that, she can regain the limbs that she eats, right? So, she's kind of immortal as a result, but dead. so yeah, Zombie Tramp. I really enjoy the story. It's fun. It's a lot of.
No, it's very popular. A lot of people collect Zombie Tramp.
Yeah, and he recently, we talk about Kickstarter a lot, right?
Yeah.
He recently regained the rights to his own book. He had lost them for a while. Not Action Comics. Is it Action Comics? Basically took the rights from him for a while, and they were publishing it without him in a way. And then he regained those rights, and now he's publishing it on Kickstarter. So.
Right. Good.
And he does it incredibly well. I think he made over 300,000 in an hour or something like that when he launched it.
Okay, yeah,
it was insane how much the backers support him. So yeah, I've met him a couple of times at conventions as well. He's a really, really nice guy.
Right, the last one's one I've talked about a few times. I have interviewed this guy on my channel. It's Strange Haven. From Gary.
I was wondering if you're going to show it.
Yeah, Strange Haven from Gary Spencer Millage. So this is a really, I love this comic. It is fantastic. The art is brilliant. Now, this guy started back in, I think it was 82, 83. And he did everything. And this is before small print runs. So this doing the art, the story, getting it printed over in the States, getting it all back and doing all the organization for the distribution. One lot. I mean, and this is back in the days when you had to do 10,000 print runs.
Hmm.
So, and his first, it was quite successful, and he won all sorts of, awards. Um,
Hmm.
but the problem was, it was a heck of a lot of work. And I think he's a graphic designer as well, and I think he had a day job. So
Hmm.
it was like one issue a year if you were lucky.
Hmm. So what issue are they at now for Strange
Oh
Haven?
well, okay. So this is number 7. So this will be from about late 80s probably. And some nice covers. His artwork, and this is really interesting because you can see his artwork progressing. Because basically the Strange Haven has just finished. So it's about 40 years to finish the Strange Haven.
The whole story. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So there was a big gap. So he stopped self-publishing, I think around about, this went up to about issue 20 something, I think, 17, 20,
Okay.
22, and it stopped.
And that cover there looks quite nice.
Yeah, it
It's
is. It's
quite.
a great looking Christmas cover, isn't it? Um,
Hmm.
and there's some really interesting characters. It's a bit like Twin Peaks meets a soap opera. In England, we've got a
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
soap opera on the radio about country folks called The Archers. So it's a bit like that weird Twin Peaks stuff meets little quaint old English village. Uh,
Hmm.
some really interesting characters, and you can see this guy's artwork progressing and progressing and progressing. And his art.
Hmm.
Now, then what happened is he stopped self-publishing because he obviously had to earn some money, and he works.
Hmm.
But then a sort of anthology magazine in the UK called Meanwhile started asked him to carry on the Strange Haven stuff, and they published it, but they only did about 1 or 2 issues a year. So
Hmm.
you know,
So
it's taken
very slow burn, I guess.
until now. It's taken 40 years. So you had to be really, really patient with this. Um,
Hmm.
but now it's all out there. So, you can go and these are not expensive. You can pick these up for $4 or $5. Um,
Hmm.
but I really do recommend it. The story is fantastic, and the art towards the second half, really very, very good indeed. I mean, he's one of these guys who's like a perfectionist in his
Hmm.
um in his artwork. So there's loads
Hmm.
of detail. If you look at a picture, you look at you can see all the detail. So if he draws a thatched cottage, you get the door knocker, the number, all the grain in the wood. I mean, it really is very impressive. It's sort of like photorealistic style. Um,
Hmm.
so yeah.
And did you mention last time that he was optioned or?
Yes, yeah, this has been optioned. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That was about 18 months ago. I haven't heard anything since. But it's like a lot of these things.
Yeah, a lot of them they just sort of
They get the
stay.
option, which means they hold it for a period of time. Whether it's been
Yeah.
re-optioned or not, I don't know. I haven't heard any more about it since then. So we'll wait and see.
Okay.
It would make a good TV series on Netflix or
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Okay, that's cool. That was it. That's all.
that is it for self-published comics. So thank you, Alan. That's your lot. See you again soon.